is going to have to be the quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. The Cult of Dangerous Gentlemen is live once again, back on YouTube, testing the parameters of community guidelines and the shadow banning and all the fuckery that goes on over here for people who are improperly aligned. But we do have some good news this week, as anybody who's tuning in with us can. Oh, what's that? There we go. Anybody who's tuning in with us can probably see. We got some good news because we got made famous on Twitter. Yeah, maybe you can call it famous. As far as we're concerned, it's famous. But we got a lot of engagement on Twitter this week because we just asked a couple questions and somebody was gracious enough to respond to us. But before we get into that, I just want to check in with the brothers. How are you brothers doing this week?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the sky to crack open and for the aliens to come and just get this fucking thing over with.
Yeah. I've been feeling that way too. I've been asking around to all the people I know who are connected with all the spiritual rituals and Native American stuff. And I know they do rain dances, but I was wondering, was there any recorded history of people doing meteor dances? Now, I was just wondering. I'm not sure if there was a meteor dance or not, but I'm surprised nobody came up with a dance that just asked the almighty Anunnaki guys to just get it over with, because shit's just getting goofier by the minute. And maybe it's me, but it seems like it's getting goofier by the minute. But like I said, we did get some pretty amazing. Let me just put this up on screen here for the people who are watching. Oh, make sure I'm sharing this too so everybody can see. Let me fix that. But so Vaush, who is a pretty popular YouTube streamer. I used to watch him a while back. He got in a lot of debates with a lot of people. He is a self-proclaimed bisexual socialist. I'm pretty sure. I think he's a socialist. I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about all of that shit. All I know is it seems to be a lot of utopian ideas about if you change the name on the paper of what system humans are operating under, somehow that takes away like all the corruption and all the fuckery, and people just do everything better. They're nicer to each other. Everybody just gets along. If you change the word from capitalism to socialism, everybody just stops doing all the bad shit, and it just works, I think. I'm not sure. This is not his words. This is just me simplifying how I think that seems to go. But Vaush had a tweet. Let me look at this. Okay, Vaush had a tweet, and it said, "Really excited for Pride Month. I'm going to work hard to be as gay as I can be. Really going to put the effort into being a gigantic faggot." Now, that's his words, so YouTube algorithms, just understand. I'm quoting a guy who is, I think, as far as I know, is bisexual. And we were wondering, Doobie Howser here, the owner of Blackness, he said, "I don't understand slur rules." Now, most of our tweets, as much as we, try to be involved with a lot of important conversations, most of them go unrecognized because Twitter's a place that I think it kind of rewards a certain type of behavior. I'm not sure. I'm still doing the research. But this one beautifully got 88.8 thousand views. And as far as I'm concerned, that's one of those special numbers. I'm one of those guys. But 88.8 thousand views, a decent amount of retweets and likes and everything, more than we usually get. So mainly, I'm just here to say thank you to Vaush for having the nerve to actually speak back to us. He came in and he said, "You can say it if you're a homo." That's pretty standard. So we were trying to figure it all out. And so for what I'm seeing, we're taking Rogan, and not everybody knows, but Rogan replaces the N-word. That is the absolutely, completely, we've sent it through all of the points of contact. Everybody agrees. It's been stamped and notarized. Rogan is the new N-word. The Rogan rules apply, meaning like black people can say the N-word, but nobody else can under threat of violence or cancellation. I just thought gatekeeping language was bigotry, so I said homos gatekeeping language is bigotry. And when
so it's not even. How do they know you're not gay?
Right, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, so a guy here who has rainbows in his profile up here said,
Well,
"Cry
there it
about
is
it."
right there.
He said, "Cry about it,"
Rainbows.
and I thought that was pretty insensitive. You know, it reminds me a lot of cis patriarchy, the way he was treating me in here. So I don't know how gay he actually is because he wasn't very compassionate. Oh no, melanin is compassion, right?
Right.
Yeah,
He's,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
Okay.
gay, but he's not black.
Okay, so okay, so I can see why he's so cold
Plus, he's
and
gay
careless.
black.
Nah, I think
But
he's a
he's
white guy.
not with that lack of compassion. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
can't be. So I said I am crying about it. Many tears were shed when I realized I couldn't say faggot. And Twitter, visibility limited. This tweet may violate Twitter's rules against hateful conduct. How, though? I'm just referencing the fact that I can't say the word faggot. I didn't call anybody a faggot. But when Vaush said that he was going to go out of his way to be a gigantic faggot, I don't know if that's not like,
Yeah, click on his tweet. Click right on Vaush's.
yeah, no,
235,000 views, no limited visibility.
that's amazing.
And he doesn't have any flags in his profile.
Yeah,
though.
that is kind of strange.
Well, Vaush has been openly talking about, taking it up the tailpipe for a long time. Or maybe he doesn't.
Is there any video? Is he on Chatterbait? If there's no video, how do we know?
I'm pretty sure he talks about it on his YouTube channel.
That
So-
still doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't
Right,
mean
that's
anything.
true. We don't know for sure that he's actually
Hey,
gay. He could
hey.
just be gay cosplaying.
I know he has no rainbows on his pictures. I know
That's
that
true.
much.
That's very revealing. I think Vosh needs to prove that he's gay immediately or stop using the word faggot. Because clearly when I use the word faggot, what did it just look at my profile picture? It's like, nah, this guy's not gay. Can't be. He's not gay. He's nowhere near gay.
Guy's definitely not gay. Is that though?
That's amazing. And Twitter's supposed to be like, now it's the place of free speech. You can say whatever you want now. Nazis are here now. All of this stuff. But this one colored person cannot say the word faggot without being visibility limited. And again, YouTube, please don't kick us in the balls. I'm just going through a conversation here. There's no hate speech happening. I'm not calling anybody any slurs. We're just trying to figure out the politics of how these slurs actually work. And Vaush brought it up. He said you can say it if you're a homo. Isn't that gatekeeping of language bigotry? Or is it me? Am I wrong? Or do you get to gatekeep language according to like characteristics and sexual behaviors? You get to kind of sequester who can use the words and who can't. I don't know how that works. I'm confused.
I don't understand how somebody had to have intervened at some point, right? Because that's not something. There isn't something where it just sees those six
They don't put it on the
letters
live chat. Sorry.
strung together that way,
Yeah, it should be. I mean,
right?
yeah.
And then it pops up because it didn't pop up on his tweet. So somebody had to go through, look at you saying it because it was said a couple times in there. There's the H word. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna just be fully cucked and not mention any of these words anymore, especially if we're on YouTube. So all these words are being thrown around in this big long thread. You're the only one. You're the only one. They were like, nope, yours has to be marked. So somebody had to look at it, right? It's not something that just popped up automatically. Somebody looked at it and made the decision to single you out to say, yep, you're not allowed to say it. Yours needs to be hidden. Yours is the one that could lead to mass genocide.
Right. So Voss saying he's going to go out of his way to be a gigantic faggot, which is, I mean, he's talking about Pride Month, and what does it mean to be a gigantic faggot? What is he saying here? There's nothing insidious there. Nobody needs to dig into that and open it up and
this
unpack
is my
it.
question, though. Is it a slur now since he says it in a happy manner?
Not when he says it. So like when DMX says my nigga, it's like it's cool unless he's saying get that nigga. Then it's dangerous. Then somebody might get hurt. But if a white person says hey nigga, then everybody should swarm him and kick his head in. I think. I'm not positive. There seems to be some discrepancy. I haven't figured it out. I still
It's
don't
the
know
Shazam
the
rule.
politics.
You know,
Shazam rule.
some people have the power of Shazam, and it's just
Take
the risk.
Shazam rule, suppress all of the melanin that's forcing you to be compassionate, turn it off for just a little bit, and make sure Shazam has proper retribution. Absolutely.
Right. And so again, we got to keep people up to speed on all of these concepts. So we figured out. See, it's good that the movie Shazam came out recently, and we have this in our collective consciousness. It's like a reverse Shazam. If you say the N word around black people, they are imbued with the power of 1,000 cave beasts, and they
Because
get
melanin
to,
has compassion.
that's why they can't hurt you until you say Shazam, which is the N word. Once you say the N word, they're imbued with the power of 1,000 cave beasts, and they can enact unspeakable violence on you. And somehow it's completely warranted because you said the magic word. But before you say the magic word, they're not allowed to beat you up. So if any of them commits violence on you without you having said that word, you might
Get
have some.
infractions.
Yeah, we're going to be handing out some infractions. But if you said the word, there's nothing we can do. This is ancient magic. This is ancient magic here. I don't know how
Beyond
to
our
break
control.
that spell. It's way beyond our control.
Way before us.
Yeah.
We didn't write these rules.
No, this was probably carved in some cave drawings or something like that. It's just weird that they say the word, but the black people get the power to do the violence. It's some weird. I don't know how that works.
They started the word, and it's just
Right.
some magic spell.
Technically, it's
in
their
between.
word. It belongs to them. But Negroes culturally appropriated the use of the word, and then they beat you up for saying it's wild, man. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out.
There's some stele like 2 miles under sand in the Valley of the Kings, and there's like a little word bubble, like one of the pharaohs, and then you see like the transformation. You see the little hieroglyphics morphing and lightning coming down. I think it's way ancient. I think it goes back to the beginning of civilization.
Yeah, I think so
For
too.
sure.
I think so too. Because it's too consistent. It's so consistent. It has to be. It's way deeper than us. It's deeper than technology. This is ancient shit. And we can see it. It's all over the internet. It's all over the internet. People are walking down the street. Somebody says the word and somebody gets beat up. And it's madness. So basically what I'm saying is white people, unless you were raised in the hood, if you don't have like cornrows and gang affiliation, you can't say it. You can't say it because all that's going to happen is you're going to give them the power of 1,000 cave beasts, and somebody's going to kick your ass. But if you were involved in criminal activity and you have like tattoos on your neck, then for some reason you can say it and nobody gets mad. It's like endearing again. There's something about blackness and criminality that stops you from getting beat up if you say the N-word. I'm not positive what it is, but I'm doing my research, so just stay tuned.
Still reading the text on it.
Yeah, it takes a while
So
to
far we know it
translate.
involves gay people, but still.
Gay people
doing the
definitely have
research.
something to do with it. And speaking of gay, Vaush, again, Vaush gave us the biggest alley-oop by responding to this. And I'm pretty sure he responded to it seriously. I didn't see any facetious energy in that. I mean, it's pretty simple. You can say it if you're a homo. That just opens up a lot of conversation about who can use which words. It's pretty funny to me. I've never really got how you could say a word to yourself and amongst your own friends, and then if you hear somebody else say a word, it just enrages you to no end. I never.
Yeah, that's what killed like the N word for me and being outraged, because it's like, wait a minute. So I'm supposed to fight for this all my life, but yeah, there's people who are allowed to break the rules and say it. It's like, fuck all that.
And people just
It's not
accept
even worth
it.
it.
He's queer.
Yeah.
He gets to say it. You use only the people whom the slur refers to get you. It's ridiculous. It's too many rules. It's too much ambiance for you to fly into a rage. Because where's the math at? Where's all the extra equations at? If soon as you hear the word, you look at the person, and in that moment you decide, how do you know if somebody's gay or not? So if somebody says faggot, you get angry. You got to know what their sexual proclivities are before you're allowed to get mad or not. And how do you know if they're being honest? I could
They have a gay
cosplay.
dick in front of you.
They need to put out a gay card.
Right.
No. I think what happens is if anybody says the F word in public, they have to immediately suck a dick or get beaten up.
Wow. And right now.
Right that
now.
second.
We got to confer back to Vaush on it. I'm gonna have to get Vaush. I'm gonna send him a message and see if he wants to talk to us about it and school us about the homosexual gatekeeping of language and the bigotry therein. If there's bigotry, I'm not gonna say that there absolutely is, but I'm just saying that there could be. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that.
He's an ultra feminist too. That's
He's an ultra feminist, is he? Let's.
That's what it says on his profile
Okay,
thing.
libertarian socialist, homosexual. Oh, he's got it in his. Oh, okay, he's got it right there. Ultra feminist, world's only advocate for transgender rights. I don't know if that's true, and live streamer, and then homosexual again. Oh, he's trolling big time, bro. I don't even know if he's actually gay. He might just want to call people faggots and get away with it because he has homosexual in his bio twice.
I just want to know what an ultra feminist is. Like how
He's
That's
on an
it.
island. He's on an island with Karl Marx and who's that? Ayn Rand.
That's what it looks like. And this gator with a censored possible penis, something's racist about this. I'm not sure. It's got a glass of white milk. I don't trust this gator. This is definitely a dog whistle to some type of group that we don't know about. Vaush is immediately under investigation right now. I mean, I know he has a pretty strong following, and they'll probably come for you and hack your page and downvote everything you do there. They seem like those type of people over there. I used to listen to him off and on. I used to listen to him a lot, but then I heard him getting into some debates with people that wasn't going in the way that I would like to listen. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to move away from this guy. But I'm glad he gave us some engagement. I think he gave us the key to how to grow on Twitter. And it seems like you just talk about gay people.
Yeah, be more gay. We're not gay enough. We need to gay it up.
Yeah, we're definitely not gay enough.
Gay it up.
That's why Twitter's ignoring us. We're not interested. We're just like two blacks and a J. And what's interesting about that, really? I mean, the fact that we're all together on the same page for one mission, that's a little interesting, but none of us we've not admitted to any weird sexual stuff.
We're not fabulous.
Yeah, we're not fabulous enough. Well, I mean, there were some people who thought Doobie was gay. Actually, I got accused of being Doobie's boyfriend once. I mean, that did happen. Somebody did contact me and told him that nigga yours now. I remember that. That did happen. So you can keep that nigga. That was her exact words. So if Doobie, you were accused of being gay, how does that work? Is that close enough?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think if you were accused of being gay, that means you're gay. So you can put homosexual in your bio now because you were accused, and you were accused of being gay by one of the most.
I think angry black woman doesn't count as being an accusation of gay.
Yeah,
they throw everything out. They say small penis, all this. They throw everything.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's what I was about to say.
See what sticks.
You were accused of being gay by one of the most unimpeachable entities in the world right now, which is a black woman. If a black woman says it, it's true. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. So I'm definitely gonna be. Oh, did you see this one? This one's good. This is a lesbian cisgender woman is escorted out of the women's bathroom by police because somebody called the cops because they thought she was a man. Imagine that. With all the shit that's happening with dudes, or not dudes, but trans women going in women's bathrooms, and none of them get kicked out that I know of. But this actual cisgendered
with a real
woman
vagine.
was a real, not an axe wound, an actual vagina.
100% organic, homegrown vagina.
She knew where she had to go.
But
she had to use the bathroom.
In the officers who kicked her out's defense, I mean, she is pretty masculine. She's pretty masculine.
You guys are harassing her because she's a dyke.
And I'm in the back. I'm a fucking female.
This is a girl.
Do I have to tell you again? You have ID? No, I
You got ID? Well, get the fuck out.
Then out. You got no ID, get out.
I wonder why he didn't just.
ID.
He should have just said, "Show me your tits."
Yeah.
Something like, pull your pants down real quick. Let me see. Would that have been unacceptable? I mean, that's like ID that God gave you, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just asking, and would that be acceptable? I'm not suggesting that security guards ask cisgendered lesbians to pull their pants down. I'm just saying,
No, I think there's going to have to be legislation where, in the same way that you would be patted down, like for threat assessment to make sure you didn't have a weapon, that's the only way you're going to really get to the bottom of it. They need to allow crotch grabs.
Yeah, Crocodile Dundee style.
Like this. Yeah, when investigations like this are going on, it's just, okay, no problem. Go ahead, get up against the wall, and he just kind of cups it. Cups it and see what's there.
Yeah, I'm not even opposed to that anymore. I'm not opposed to that anymore because if you'll find out really quick. We don't need to go through all this extra stuff. You don't just cup the crotch, If there's too much activity going on down there, you got to leave. If there's nothing happening, then you can go ahead and use the bathroom.
You're free to go.
Nobody knows better than an elderly white male who's supposed to be in the women's bathroom. I mean, we have to leave this to the sound minds of our culture, and nobody
You gotta
knows
grab
better.
him by the pussy. It's the only way.
Trump knew what was up, bro. He
Yep.
he predicted
Sometimes
the
you-
future. He predicted the future, bro. He knew this was gonna get him out of all of this shit. I love it. But again, thank you, Vaush. We appreciate you. I'm gonna continue to at least attempt to farm this community for more engagement. I got a lot of questions for gay folks and trans folks and all of that. I just got a lot of questions. I want to know what's going on. I want to know, why is it? Don't cancel me, please. This is a legitimate question. I'm not trolling. Why is it that you need to give a kid puberty blockers if they want to be trans? Like, okay, so you got a kid who was assigned male at birth. Let's go with that. He was assigned male at birth. Somewhere in his youth, he decides, you know what? I think I'm a girl. And then his parents say, okay, we need to get you on puberty blockers right away. If all of this shit is as fluid as they want us to believe it is, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying, if it's all as fluid as you want us to believe it is, why can't he grow up and be a broad-shouldered, deep-voiced, bearded woman? Why do you got to put him on puberty blockers to make sure his voice stays a certain way and that he doesn't grow hair and he doesn't get bulky? Like, why can't he just be a bulky, broad-shouldered woman with a deep voice?
And if your sexual organs don't determine whether you're a man or a woman, why did Elliot Page cut his tits off?
Right. Why can't you just be a dude with boobs? I'm confused. I'm literally confused, because what you're saying is the only way this child can be a convincing woman is to make him soft and smooth and shave his jaw muscles, shave his jawbone down, shave off his Adam's apple, make sure he has a really high-pitched voice. He won't grow hair. Women have hair, right? Women can have a hairy chest.
Oh yeah, mustaches.
Mustaches. So why not just let him grow into the woman that he's gonna be and leave it at that? When you put on puberty blockers and you try to turn him into a dainty little mistress, that's just telling us, that's reinforcing the binary ideas about sex representation, sexual dimorphism. You're saying that he won't be a convincing woman if he has an Adam's apple and broad shoulders and a beard. Why though? Because it's all a spectrum.
Right, and there's two really different standards depending on what you are and what you're seeking to be. So like the rules for what you are, nothing is based on anything that's conventional, right? Like you're assigned your gender at birth. So what are you? I'm a woman. Yeah, but you have a penis, you have testicles, you have a Y chromosome. So all of the things that biologically have to do with you being a man or a woman, on the front end, none of those things matter. You're like, nope, I'm a woman, regardless of what all those other characteristics are. It's irrelevant. I am a woman. But then when the person transitions into being a woman or a man, on that end, all of a sudden, all of those things that are really defining, they become of the utmost importance. Right? Elliot's like, well, I'm a man now. I can't have tits. What are you, crazy?
Hey, wait,
I
I
can
thought...
have these floppy boobs. Chop it off. Like, then all of a sudden, you know what a man is. Now, you know what a man is and you know what a woman is when you're transitioning to becoming.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying?
There's trans women out here right now fighting for their right to have their feminine penises blown by cis hetero men. And if you won't do it, that means you're a bigot, because some women have penises. So what do you say to the trans women who want to slice theirs off and get it inverted? No, that's fair too, because they're the women who want vaginas. Some women have penises. You're obviously you're a woman who has a penis. I mean, so what are you doing? Why are you trying to chop it off to make yourself more aesthetically pleasing, or is why does it affirm your gender as a woman to have a vagina if women have penises too? I don't get it.
It's a strange world.
It's really strange. But you know what? On the
Like
other
to stay away
side,
from it.
But it's almost like they're admitting I'm not this and I need to transition into this,
right.
which implies that clearly there's a difference.
There is a difference. There seems to be a difference. And I'm going to ask a question in the reverse, too, just to show that this is not stemming from a place of willful, unapologetic bigotry. Because somebody else pulled up the point that gender-affirming surgeries are also things like breast implants. Right? Breast implants are gender-affirming. Hair plugs may be considered gender-affirming surgery. Men feel more manly when they're not bald, right? So how come those things aren't aligned or promoted and marketed as gender affirming? Women get their lips puckered up. They fucking tattoo their lips redder. They put makeup on them. Like, why isn't any of that considered gender affirming surgery? If you stay in the same lane, it's not gender affirming. If a man goes and gets a penis enlargement, that's not considered gender affirming. But if a woman wants to become a man and she gets a fake, well, not fake, but a aftermarket penis attached to her, then that's considered gender affirming. And personally, I don't believe that you should.
Damn, why hasn't Joe Budden jumped on that for a marketing opportunity?
Look,
hey, you want to get a penis on you?
Look, I personally believe.
Burn it.
Terrible. I don't think you're a real man if you get to choose your penis. I know that's you know. I'm
Well, it's
I'm
part
sure
of
a lot
manhood, man.
I'm sure a lot of people have an issue with that.
Suits and you get what you
Yeah,
get.
you get what you get. So how come you get to choose yours? And every one they choose looks like a tall can of Budweiser. Like every one of them.
It should be a random lottery.
Yeah, yep. When you go in to get your surgery, you shouldn't know what you're getting until you wake up. It should be randomized.
Nah,
There's a whole bunch of penises on the screen, and it's like one of those slot machines. It's just like all over the screen, and it just lands on one. You get the egg penis.
Dude, you get the wheel from The Price is Right when you figure out if you're going to the showcase
You get to spin the penis wheel,
and each one of those numbers is a dick attached to it, and you just spin it, and that's what you're waking up with.
Damn, I like that. And you know what? I think that makes you more of a man. If you can move through the world with the penis that you were given by a random selection, that makes you more of a man. If you go in there and you say, "Give me the big, long, wide one," that's not a man. You're not a man. You know what that is? That's female privilege.
That's a woman being a size queen.
You just reaffirmed your femininity by choosing your favorite penis. Men don't get to choose their favorite penis. So if you're getting if you're turning your wrist muscle into a big strong pipe, then I think that makes you technically less of a man. But I'm not being a bigot. That's just my idea. I would love to talk to somebody about why you get to choose the dimensions of your own penis in your pursuit of being recognized as a man, when one of the most clear and concise ideas about dealing with yourself as a man is not having control over your penis size.
Yep.
I don't know, bro. Yeah, you just gotta you gotta take it. If it's an egg, it's an egg. If it's an anaconda, it's an anaconda. You just gotta deal with it.
Gotta go down the spinning wheel. We're no longer look at you as men.
Yeah, I think so.
The spinning wheel.
I don't know. This whole thing is messy because all of these things have been shoehorned into a single cause, and it just doesn't make sense because everybody is different. Some people are like, look, I just want to dress up like a woman. I feel pretty. I like it, but I love my dick. I've been jerking it off for decades. It's not going anywhere. But look, I like to get pounded in the butt. I like to put on women's clothes. I like to put on makeup. That's who I am. That person is that person. That's what they're into, right? So there's no point in going in and making standards where, well, no, you have to cut it off, or you're not. Yeah, it's a transvestite. They just want to transition their vestments. That's all they want to do. It's different than a transsexual. None of this. Dude, I found out that the first transgender surgery was like in 1927 or some shit.
Holy shit! How did that
Like,
go?
dude, yeah,
Probably not
look,
good.
it's rough.
This
It's rough.
definitely wasn't paid medicine.
They didn't survive long after that, but this isn't something that's like brand new. Just it's out, like it's something that's been recognized. It's been in film. It's been in popular culture. It was on Sally Jesse Raphael, right? It's been on talk shows. It's always been here. It's just it's now here and it's prominent because it has political value. It can be a line in the sand to be like, so are you a racist or not? What? Yeah. Are you a racist or not? What does being a racist have to do with anything? Listen, do you hate me because I cut my dick in half and shoved it up in my pelvis and made it a pussy? Do you hate me? Do you not want me to exist because of that? No, actually, I feel like that's horribly painful, and I feel terrible for you if you're this uncomfortable with your biological identity and you're going to these great lengths and you feel like I feel bad for you. I don't want you to not exist. I want you to find peace and be happy and well, you're a racist. What? You're a racist somehow. And so it's just a line in the sand to give people ammunition to insult you or to accuse you of being a bad person, because some of this stuff you're just being honest about. And it's like, I don't know, this doesn't seem to be like a huge thing affecting all of these people. It seems like there's a handful of people that deal with this, and that community's always been there. And in fact, I would think some of those people, like, there was, because I know there was this thing, like this paradox in hip hop where the coolest people or the illest people were the people that nobody heard about. That was like the things like, yo, I got this mixtape with this dude you've never heard of. Like, oh, all right, yo, that's some real shit. Why is it real shit? Because nobody knows about it. People ain't ready for that real shit. Nobody likes that real shit. I gotta think that same concept was at play with these communities who already had their shit. They already had places where they met up. They had their in-group, and other people were outsiders, and they didn't get what they were going through or everything, right? And I don't know. I felt like if you're only like 1% or 0.5% of the population, the reality is you're gonna be a perpetual minority. Everybody's not gonna be able to relate to your experience. You're just not. I don't know what it's like to look at my dick and it's like, man, that thing shouldn't be there. Something ain't right. Something is wrong. I was born in the wrong body. It doesn't feel. I'm never gonna be able to relate to that. So there's a community of people that already feel like that, and they're dealing with that, and they already existed. Like you would, like the way that they put it into the public sphere now, you would think that this shit just there were no trans people before like 2015 or something.
No, it's been here since biblical times. This is before us and beyond. There's a clip of an old Dirty saying the same shit. He's like, I love women or whatever, but he's like, these people been here before us. God made them. You know what I'm saying? So everything God made, I have to love. So like, just for us to sit there and just all this ridiculousness that's going on, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's a debacle.
People
It's
also
all
just
debacle.
really like to attack shit, especially when they're confused about it. And I think the more fervor that you attack it with, it's because you probably see remnants of it in yourself, and you're not trying to purge it from the planet. You're trying to purge it from inside yourself. I could be wrong, but thou doth protest too much. That's some real shit. Because all this, I remember when I was young, and it was a thing. Like, you were supposed to be, to some degree, disgusted by the idea of homosexuality. But that's a cultural thing. That's not like a natural thing. There's other places in the world where people are gay and nobody cares. You just get on with your life. But you're supposed to be disgusted by it. You're supposed to be like, oh, these guys, oh, this is nasty, all that kind of shit. But the older
it's a whole different spectrum, because like you have Jamaicans who want to murder them,
right,
and Haitians don't like them, but they're not like making songs to murder them, but because they know like people are like this. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, it's just a fucking crazy. It's a crazy thing when you think about it. Now, when you talk about Jamaica, like that's just. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. To what culture can you have? What other place on the world is there where there's a group of people that it's okay to make banging ass music about killing them? I mean, it could exist somewhere. It could exist somewhere. I don't know where. I'm just saying.
Jamaicans did it better.
Nobody did it. Nobody did it like Jamaicans.
Nobody did it better than them.
Nobody did it better than Jamaicans, bro. Where in the world does that happen? It doesn't happen. Do they in like in Eastern Europe? Do they have songs about Romani people referred to as gypsies? Do they have songs about killing them?
Iran says there's no gays. Isn't that what they said in Iran?
Well, they
They
don't
said
make
there's no
songs.
gays.
They
don't
just
have
kill
any
them.
gay- I think it's Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
They
Arabia.
don't have any
Yeah.
gay people there.
They don't make no. They don't make songs. They just kill them though. They throw them off the roof. They take a whole bunch of them to the roof in handcuffs and they throw them off. So they're not making mixtapes about it. They're not making hit records and going on tour around the world by singing about what group of people they want to kill. That's some psychotic shit. But the music is so good. I mean, it's pretty
Undeniable.
difficult. Yeah, I mean,
Undeniable.
listen, I heard "Boom Bye Bye" 150 times before I
Had no
knew what he
clue.
was talking about. At least 150 times I heard "Boom Bye."
It was
I
so
hadn't-
good it fooled the gay people.
Right. I had no clue. Now, mind you, in my defense, this was at an early time where I wasn't really completely understanding reggae music. I knew the beats, I knew some of the slang, but I didn't really know what was going on. So I was listening and I'm nodding my head to it. Like I said, it was a long time before
It's
I
a catchy
really knew.
tune. It's a great song, but it's about murdering gay people.
Yeah, completely about murdering gay people.
But it's like you go out the dance floor, get your little girl dirty wine on.
That T.Y., not a little
You
girl,
might shoot
but
up. You might not a little girl. You might shoot up, get the lighter in the air, and then you realize at the end of the night, like, wait a minute.
And can't sane people agree that making songs about murdering a group of people is on one extreme, right? That's one cultural extreme. But the other is cut this kid's dick off.
that's pretty extreme. That's pretty extreme.
Can't we just say, look, I want people, if they want to dress up as the opposite sex and live their life that way and change their name, yeah, those people should live in a society that they're safe in, even if the rest of the people don't understand them, right? Your life makes no sense to me. Your choices make no sense to me. What drives you is not what drives me. I can't make sense of it, but you should be able to exist and feel safe, and we should be able to share space and resources,
Yes.
right? Like, okay, or if you want to look, I don't need to just dress up. Like, I need these titties. I need these titties. I need this dick sauteed. I need it to look like a pussy. I need you to cut some arm meat, roll it up like some Play-Doh, turn it into a dick, like make it happen. It's not just enough for me to dress up. I need to augment my body physically, and I'm willing to pay for it. I'm willing to make the bread. I'll go be a merchant marine for like 10 years, save up, and buy my own dick or buy my own tits or whatever I'm going to do. But that's how I'm going to live my life. I want to make that choice, and I should be left the fuck alone. Nobody should bother me or attack me or hate me by virtue of me just living my life, even if you don't understand it. Cool. I'm with you there. But once we get to, can I talk to your kid for a second? What are you going to talk to my kid about? Your kid's 8. It's about time he learns about what Grindr is as an app and how to eat men, how to meet men on an app, how you're supposed to swallow sperm, like really specific shit. Like in some of these books that have been found in like elementary schools, like the topics and the shit that they're talking about is like, nah, like you can't agree. Like if I can agree with you, right, that you should be able to augment yourself physically however you want, that you should be able to dress up however you want, to change your name whatever you want, and people should respect that and not do violence upon you, right? If I'm willing to agree to that, like let's agree that that's reasonable, right? You can't agree and say, nah, maybe an 8-year-old shouldn't be getting in-depth analysis about ass eating. Maybe that's not.
But why?
Maybe
Though?
that.
But why? Do we know for sure that the world's not a better place if a 10-year-old knows how to insert a butt plug, right?
We don't know because we don't have Universe B that we can look at to where they fully realize their 8-year-old ass eating utopia to see what what that world looks like. They cure cancer within 6 months once 8-year-olds are empowered with the knowledge of proper ass eating. I guess that makes the world a better place in Universe B, but we don't know. But I just think it's reasonable to say, for the same reason you wouldn't bring a kid to a strip club, the same reason why you don't let kids watch like scary movies. Oh, they're gonna have nightmares. You recognize that a kid is different. A kid is different. You don't we don't send 7-year-olds off to war. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, you Americans don't.
Well, right. That's true. Well, we don't. But Africa has a long and storied history of supplying 8-year-olds with AK-47s and a strategy. But, I just feel like there would be so much more solidarity and progress if there was more people, and I guess that's why I always jump at every opportunity I have to just denounce European Jews. I feel like that's my gift to the world.
As a European Jew.
Right.
Make sure you clarify that.
It's like, look, when there's some bullshit, like, wait a minute, this isn't fair. Like, this is hypocritical. Like, this is a double standard, right? Like, if I'm the only person that's allowed to say that because you have to be the thing to talk about, right? If those are the rules, like was clearly established in that thread, right? You have to be it to say it or to talk about it, then that's your part. You know what I mean? If you're a black dude, you could just say, hey, stealing shit out of the Walgreens is bad. Pointing the pistol at the cop is bad. Starting this dumb shit to escalate to horrific violence, that's bad, right? I don't have to jump up and defend it, and that's what I feel like. The gay community or the LGBTQ, trans, whatever, like there's too much of that. Like you would think that there would be more people saying, "Look, we're gonna keep cutting our dicks off. We're gonna keep having 30-man orgies. We're gonna keep doing what we do. We're gonna be fabulous. We're gonna dress up, and we're gonna be the shit." But we agree doing this shit to kids is wrong. But to not have that just be unequivocally clear and come, it does it to me. It makes the whole movement sour. Like if you were just trying to get, like you probably could have got more people to say, who would have previously been like, all right, y'all are two dudes kissing in front of me. I'm disgusted. I think y'all should be murdered. Because when you let them tell the story, that's how the majority of people think.
Right.
Like heterosexuals just want to murder gay people. Everybody, we're all Buju Banton.
Yeah, they want us dead. That's the language they use. They want us dead.
They don't want us to
What do you mean
exist.
when you say they want us dead? Or they won't let kids chop their penises off? How does that equal to wanting you dead, though? Oh, because if the kid doesn't chop his penis off, he'll eventually commit suicide. So that means I want you dead? It's disingenuous. That's like the low end of the spectrum, saying it's disingenuous. But it's the tribalism, right? The tribalism makes you protect everybody and everything associated with the tribe. That's why Black Lives Matter can't pick their battle. Well, they can pick their battles. If a little child gets shot in the crossfire of a gang war in a McDonald's park drive-thru, they're silent. But if a 10-time felon punches an old lady in the face and then gets killed by the cops, now we need to take to the streets and burn down half the city. So they know how to pick their battles. They're silent on some things, but the things that they mobilize for It's very rarely anything that's work. Like it seems like a bunch of bullshit for the most part. I mean, I could. Hey, prove me wrong. Come on the show. Prove me wrong. By all means, we'll listen to you. But it's the tribalism that makes you protect the worst. If you betray your tribe by saying, you know what, maybe we should let these kids grow up a little bit before we decide if we want to sand off their fucking genitals, you get kicked out.
But where's the trans activists who are like, yeah, we do want to be accepted in society, and we do want there to be more acceptance of us in larger society, but we think you need to be an adult, and just like you need to be 18 to go to a strip club, you need to be 18 to see a trans person basically put on a strip type show, just to agree, like, yeah, sexuality shouldn't be around kids. It can lead to some serious problems and people getting murdered. It's a bad idea, right? But I'm sure those kind of trans activists exist, but they're not signal boosted. They're not the ones being put out on the front street and promoted. So that's why people question this being nefarious, and why they're more reluctant to, like, and you'll see a lot of people on the right like this, like, nope, they can't exist. Like, those people really do exist. They're like, hey, we should not have this in society. Like, there was people that gave Alex Stein shit for having a Blair White on. They gave Alex Jones shit because he had Blair White on, and I'm sure everybody knows who Blair White is, a transgender woman who happens to be a conservative. So there's a lot of conservatives who are like, no, we shouldn't be accepting this shit at all. It's degeneracy. It's against the Bible. We shouldn't accept it. Like, yeah, those people do exist, but you would have a much better, and that's why people think there's something nefarious to it, because you're shooting yourself in the foot. If your goal was really to get acceptance for the shit that you say that you want acceptance for, this isn't the way to go about it, right? Well, what do you want? I want to be able to change my name, dress like a woman, have surgery to augment my physical features, which happen to be what a stereotypical woman would be, but I want that because I felt like a woman, I want to be a woman, and I don't want people to treat me bad or be an asshole to me and make me feel like I'm not a part of humanity. Word. Yeah, man, people should be more accepting of you. I'm sorry people made you feel that way. So how are we going to do that? I'm going to strip in front of 8-year-olds.
Yeah,
what?
Let's lower the age of consent and start doing genital surgery on children. Like, well, whoa, are you sure you want to start here? Yeah.
Right. Do you think that's going to make people more? So the people that were already saying, like, they're even saying now, like, you see, I told you gay marriage was a slippery slope. Like, I told you, we approved gay marriage, and now they want to fuck all our kids. And it's like, yeah, that does seem like a bridge too far. It does seem like a pretty big leap. But every time you look to see, okay, so what is the trans activism community doing now? And it's like, oh yeah, we're stripping in front of children. We're stripping in front of children. They love it. We're reading to them. We're sending convicted sex offenders to show up at libraries with no drawers on and read books to kids and to have them twerk in front of them. Come on, everyone. Show each other how to twerk.
A lot of convicted child rapists like upset, like the LGBTQ. It's like, wait a minute, all I had to do
was put a dress on, and you would have invited me to the school. Fuck, I got locked up sitting outside the school, dressed like a dude in my van. Y'all took me to jail. But if I put a dress on and a pink wig, you bring me in the school and put me in a room with all the kids? Holy shit. Sounds like a good hustle. Not that anybody's. I'm just saying. It does sound kind of.
Not that anybody's probably doing it, right?
Right, but if two people are committed to each other and they want to build a life together on whatever terms that they agree to, that's all marriage is. It's two people, hopefully not related, right, that are saying, hey, we're gonna have some sort of contract. We're gonna make an agreement. We're gonna have terms, and we're gonna partner for life. Like, I agree. You can't say it has to be a man and a woman, simply because that's your cultural ethos.
There's no law of man or woman. But when it comes to now, I want kids. Now the arrogance comes in.
Right, but you can have your personal preference to just say, nah, I think that's wrong. I think you should just have a man and a woman. Cool. You could feel like that. Everybody is not going to agree with you. And that was a valid argument. Like, you shouldn't be able to force upon me your values anymore. I should be able to force them upon you. You're trying to tell me I feel gay every morning I wake up. I'm craving dick. I can't stop thinking about it. I gotta get it. I'm addicted to dick. I gotta get it. And you're
That's a
coming to me and
soundbite.
saying, look, no, you can't have dick. God doesn't want you to have dick. He didn't make you to suck dick. That's the devil forcing you to want to suck dick. And even though God is stronger than the devil, you're going to feel like you want to suck dick more than you don't. But I want you to know that that's wrong, and you're going to go to hell if you do it. So you got to change. Like, that's a tall order for a human being who's undeniably maybe wired in a certain way. So that was a legitimate argument that you shouldn't, from your religious perspective and your cultural preference. That's like Jews and Muslims going to everybody and saying, we don't eat pork now. What? No. You don't eat pork. No. We don't eat pork. Like, it's when you start trying to create that standard for everybody. So they had a legitimate argument to say, how can you say marriage is between a man and a woman if two dudes or two women want to take on that same approach to life? Like, how is the government not going to recognize it? Like, all right, that was legit, but you lose all of your credibility for your argument when the hill that you're willing to die on is, let's fuck with kids' hormones because they said they feel like there's something different. Like, that's why Owen Benjamin got canceled. He got dropped from his fucking talent agency. Like, why are all these groups of people that they're not saying, like, look, don't beat up trans people. Like, don't be mean to trans people. Call trans people by the name that they request, right? That's not the things. All those things are kind of in there, but what are they really like? Because nobody's saying don't do that, right? Owen Benjamin didn't get up and say, you know what? Trans people can't exist. We have to exterminate them. You know what? You say that your name is Sheila. Fuck you, Bruce. I'm going to call you Bruce. I don't give a fuck if you want me to call you Sheila. Nah. Literally nobody is out there saying that and needing to be corrected and needing to be canceled for that. The shit that people are getting canceled and disappearing for is when they're like, yo, that kid is 9 years old. You wouldn't let them get a tattoo. How the fuck are you going to let them fuck with the chemistry of their body, which could potentially have irreversible effects? Like, how could you do that? Like, and that's what people were getting canceled for. So that's why people think the shit is way more nefarious. And if I was a transgender person or a gay person, I would be doing the same thing that I do on the European Jews now. Fuck Adam Silver. He doesn't get to tell the entire NBA. Well, first of all, the NBA shouldn't be the governing body of who's a Jew. But when it became that, right, when people were looking to the NBA, excuse me, basketball player, who's the real Jews? I was thinking about buying a movie on Amazon, and I wasn't sure. I didn't consult my rabbi. I didn't go to the library. I didn't do any research. I came to the NBA for answers. Are Kyrie and Kanye right, or is Adam Silver right? Who are the real Jews? I don't think you should really be making that decision for everybody, right? So you should call that out. Like, hey, Adam Silver, if Kyrie thinks he's a Jew, if the Black Hebrew Israelites think they're Jewish, they're reading the Torah and interpreting it the way that they're interpreting it to make sense of their origin story and their, you know, who the fuck are you to come along and be like, nah, B, that's not it. It's us, right? That should be called out. But unless you're Jewish, you can't call that out without being an anti-Semite. So if I was gay, like my whole, or transgender, my whole program would be like, yo, get these people to shut the fuck up. Nobody is creating more animosity and skepticism about the evil, nefarious intents of gay and transgender people like the people that are being paraded around as activists. Those are the people that are making everybody uneasy, like, nah, don't read to my kid. Like, nah, you know what? At first, I was like, look, cool, get married. But now that I see this shit that y'all are doing with trying to, fucking inject chemicals into kids and chop
Yeah, that's
tits
why I
and
don't
dicks.
fuck with Gabrielle Union. Like, I don't respect anything that she did to that man's
Look,
son.
you can't chop off 13-year-old titties. You just can't.
Why not though?
It's ridiculous.
No. You can't say, look, talk to any woman that had to lose a titty to breast cancer to save her life.
She's depressed.
Ask how she feels about bitches just going around, I got a B cup. I want bigger tits. You really gonna go get a surgery to, like, you got tits. My body tried to kill me. My tit tried to eat the rest of me and murder me. So I had to cut it off. I had to cut, like, it's some serious shit to cut off titty meat. And you just going up to, like, 13, 14-year-old titty meat. Undiseased. Perfect titty meat. Like, chop it off, throw it in the bucket. They feel like a dude.
It's like a dude being like, yeah, man, this shit was too heavy. I had to get the top 8 inches removed. I just kept the back 7. I just kept the back 7. It's a lot more comfortable. Like, motherfucker, you crazy? No, it's weird shit. Why is a 10-year-old twerking at a Big Frida concert while she screams ass everywhere?
Yeah.
I can't.
Why are all of these people clapping and like, you mean to tell me there's nobody in that entire place that was like, this feels wrong?
Look, I don't think all gay people are pedophiles. I don't think all transgender people are predators.
No.
I don't think all of anybody is any
You might know
attribute.
one.
No, you know what I think it is, honestly? I don't think they're all pedophiles. I definitely don't think that. But what I do think is...
But there should be a bigger outcry. There should be a bigger outcry from people's like, look, dude, get these fucking kids out of here. Because I know I've seen a couple videos. There's a couple.
They don't
of
make a
TikToks
good case.
with
They don't make a good case of
no,
them not being
they
pedophiles.
do make. Well, okay, my bad. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying they don't make a good case for not being pedophiles. Like,
Right.
like when you try to,
Right, and if I was a part of,
when you
but
try to speak up for gay people, and then somebody's like, "Well, they're all pedophiles," and you're the crazy one. Like, well, they're not all pedophiles.
Yeah, you sound
You're like
crazy
the
for saying not
craziest
all.
one. Yeah,
right,
you're
but,
the
right, but
craziest
why?
one.
So why are they having this 8-year-old twerk and then stick money in the crotch of a grown man in fishnets?
Right. Yeah, that doesn't help your argument, sir. Ma'am. Ma'am, it doesn't help your argument.
And that's all I'm saying. That's why it's so stupid to conflate all of this shit with hate and to make it to make these standards that really I feel like any sane person would be, it would be indefensible. Like, even if you could get a really hyper religious person, right? And they'll say, look, there shouldn't be pornography at all. There shouldn't be strip clubs at all. It destroys civilization. It's a bad idea. Okay, cool. That's your opinion, right? But if there's other people who are like, nah, I like to see titties. This bitch ain't at gunpoint showing me her titties. She wants to show me her titties. I want to see her titties. And we're willing to exchange money for the titty showing. And these are two adults doing it. Even the people that want to go see the titties, right? The titty viewers and the religious person that says titties should never be on display for money, both of them would agree kids shouldn't be here looking at these titties.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be this hyper moralist person. You could be the so-called degenerate looking at the titties, but still there's some sort of commonality. There's a common ground between the moralizer and the degenerate in, okay, but we should at least wait for them to be adults to make that decision. And I feel like the best thing the trans community or the homosexual community could do to really have, it's not putting Dylan Mulvaney, like everything they're doing is sparking more resentment, more suspicion, more hatred. And I gotta think that there's people within that community who are intelligent enough to see that, who would start stepping up and being activists. But it feels like there's some part of the machinery that wants the outrageous shit to be at the forefront of the movement.
Okay, I'll say this. I definitely don't think they're all weirdo freaks when it comes to kids. I think a possibility could be that they see the next generation of gay people and drag stars and like they don't get to reproduce. Well, I mean, they always could. A lot of them do, especially lesbians. They find a way to get pregnant. You know, maybe a gay couple can adopt or something like that. But they don't traditionally reproduce like everything else that exists on Earth. They don't have that option available to them, pretty much. So I think indoctrination might be like asexual reproduction for them, which makes it's still a little weird and insidious, but it's not as villainous as directly preying on children. Maybe if they think they can normalize it enough or push it enough, that they'll just have a flush of these people performing drag and being gay and being trained. Like maybe this is how they reproduce themselves. It's through indoctrination rather than through traditional sex. I don't know. Maybe I could be getting too deep and philosophical with it. Maybe they're just being weird.
It's all stupid shit because, like Doobie said, this shit is before recorded history.
Right.
Like you could go like.
But this might be the first time they've ever felt like they could do what they're doing now. Like there were times throughout.
Have you ever heard of Greece?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Actually,
stop it. Like this is not the first time.
Going on before time.
Well, you know what happened to them, right?
The angels are men.
You know what happened to Greece?
Supposed to stop us?
But the same thing that happened to Rome, the same thing that happened to Assyria, the same thing that happened to the Hittite Empire, the same thing that's going to happen to us. All this shit is sandcastles.
One way or another.
Right. We're under a delusion. We like to think, since we're basically in cosmic prison, that's what this is. We're trapped behind the 50 Kabbalistic gates of emanations. We're here in the material world, trapped where we're born and bred in violence. Fucking is violence. The whole nature of this thing is a binary. It's all about tension and opposition. These are the forces that create our existence. There has to be opposing forces. Like this is a prison where we're guaranteed to fall off of here, but we like to think that we're creating something that's permanent and is gonna transcend it, but we're not, and that's why we're all just kind of passing through. That's why we shouldn't be dicks to each other. We're all suffering under the human condition. So I'm not advocating to hate one group or another, but because we've been put in these groups, we've been boxed together with these groups, and the media and the system at large is telling us about which groups are marginalized, which groups are important, which groups deserve a bigger voice because they haven't had a voice before, which groups you're allowed to criticize and disagree with, which groups you can defame, and which groups you can't say a word about. Like, that's the context in which we're trying to navigate this and figure things out and have conversations. But the gay shit has always existed. It's all this isn't anything new that we're just figuring out how to deal with. But I just feel like if we can't come together regardless of our disagreements and just say, yo, certain shit should not be introduced to kids. That's it. That's it. That's the only line. No puberty blockers for 3-year-olds. That was Owen Benjamin's line in the sand that basically turned him into a cult leader. He was in movies, TV, Hollywood, elite. Like, he's definitely in the 1%. He's the upper crust of society. He's in the in crown. He's part of the cultural priests here. You're out on Front Street. People are looking to you. They're laughing at you. You're like, by every measurement, right? You made it. You made it. You're at the top of the hill. You fucking did it. Like, you're a success. And just snapping the fingers, it all evaporates if you're like, I don't think you should give puberty blockers to a fucking toddler. How is that controversial?
And when you're around a bunch of baby eaters,
Oh,
Well, yeah, I guess if you're gonna eat a baby, what's a couple of fucking puberty blockers?
right, who cares? And so, speaking of the things that shouldn't be introduced to children, one of those things may be Joe Biden. One of those things may be Joe Biden. There's a lot of dangers. I mean, allegedly, there's a lot of dangers out here to kids. But I think Joe Biden could possibly. I didn't want to believe it at first. I saw a few sniffing videos. It looked a little weird. There was definitely some handsy business going on.
Don't give too much because Doobie hasn't seen it yet. I just want him to see it for the first time and just see what the takeaway is.
Okay, dude. So we're gonna watch this video of Big Joe and him meeting some children for the first time. So we're just gonna let this play, and Doobie, you just let us know how you feel about it overall. We're just gonna let it rock.
See if you notice anything. See if anything stands out to you.
Let me put the sound on, everybody. Check this out.
Trip to Poland, what was your favorite
Side,
there?
there's kids
What did
here?
you like in Poland?
Why don't you go to the Oval Office and ask?
Really?
We'll come that way.
Okay.
So, what did you like in Poland? He said, "Why don't you come to the Oval Office and ask me that?"
Can we send them too? Can we send them too?
All right. Go ahead.
So,
So just go back real quick to the very beginning frame. This already looks like some creeper shit.
yeah, he's standing like halfway hidden behind the wall.
Kids here?
And then you notice he whispers to somebody. He's like, "Yo, get the gimp suit ready in the Oval Office." Like he whispers somebody
Put
to
the
go
drop
do
cloth
something.
down.
Right. He whispers to somebody, and then he like gets the nod. You got it, Mr. President. Then he's like, "How about you ask me in the Oval Office?"
On your last trip to Poland, what was your favorite thing there?
What did you
We
like
about
in
to-
Poland?
We about to get some California Twinkies. Get in that Oval Office and get the plastic down.
Really?
We'll come that way.
Okay.
And the parent says, "Can we send him too?
Can we send them too?
Yeah.
You want the boy too? Don't just take the girl." I want twin trauma. I want them to be equally traumatized. Can I send them both?
Go ahead.
Yeah, can we? You see? I can go.
We're trying to get some Hollywood stars out of this, and they're birthed in trauma. So let's get them both traumatized.
I got it.
Shakes both their hands. Hey, how you doing? I'm
Let's
the
go.
president. Come on, each grab a hand.
Walking fast. Come on.
Here's where it gets good, Doobie.
She looked. Oh my god. He's completely abandoned a little boy. He's taking a little girl.
He doesn't seem to be holding my hand anymore, even care if I'm following. Yo,
Oh, wow.
They get to. Oh.
Listen, he's too old to keep it under. Just keep in mind, this is a man who gets sent out to podiums with you, all caps.
you turn to the Prime Minister of Japan. You ask the question of the reporter. You go stand at the podium. This is a person who's not all there. And if you've ever volunteered to help old people, you know Lizard Brain just takes over. Lizard Brain, they go on autopilot, whatever their most base instincts are. Like, they can't, there's no more posturing, right? There's no more, I can keep it under wraps. His lizard brain took over. It was, he got a treat. He's like, I gotta ditch this fucking kid. I gotta get this chick into the Oval Office. That's what that shit looked like. Like, and the little boy even starts feeling awkward. Like, why isn't he holding my hand anymore?
He's definitely a child diddler.
He starts
Allegedly.
walking forward, and he almost goes to the door in the front, and then Joe makes the beeline, like, nah, bitch, over here. Like, he just, like, it was like when you see those animals, they get their hunt. You know what I mean? Like, I got him. Like, it was just full lizard brain, and he just bounced. He tried to get that girl wherever he was taking her as soon as possible. Like, I don't know who looks at that as just like, yeah, it's just, and he just likes kids. He just thought it was cool. Like, okay, because first of all, they're there with their parents. And I get it. The kids probably aren't going to assassinate the president, right? So go ahead and send the kids, We know they're not gunned up. They're not going to gun down the president. He can go and shake their hands. But bitch, y'all are in the White House. Y'all already got patted down. Like, you got the security clearance to be there. Listen, I don't want to hang out with none of y'all's kids without y'all around. None of it. Never would I be like, hey, Doobie, you mind if I play with your kids for a little?
No.
Never.
No.
Like, dude, who
This is
doesn't?
what got Michael Jackson in trouble.
Who doesn't bring the parents with? You could still show them the fucking Oval Office.
I found a gift for Joe Biden waiting behind the wall for the kids right here. It's absolutely horrible, bro. That shit did not look good in the least. There was no way where that looked correct or right. What parent, like with everything going on with Joey, right? With everything happening with Joey, all the allegations, all the stuff that's been going on, what parent said, you want to take my other kid too? How?
They didn't see the Hunter Biden tapes.
And where's the LGBT?
All right, go ahead. Can I,
Yeah, can we? I can go.
Yeah, bro, it don't look good.
So you only molest girls?
Yeah, he shook the boy's hand, but look at the girl. Look at the girl.
So,
He's
come
like,
on.
yeah, you
That's
coming
what
with
I'm
me.
looking for.
Hi,
You
nice
gotta
to
shake
meet
my
you,
hand.
sir, ma'am.
I'm there.
And then
he's
he
like,
just walks
fuck.
him. Yeah.
So he's
Like
just,
Girl
I guess
Scout
he
cookies?
the
All right,
camera's
you-
like, beat a kid.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
through that door.
Yeah, he just
I got
totally
What you're doing
forgot
right
to
now
say
is
it.
called cock blocking.
Back away.
All right, you go.
Maybe that's why
you
they
go
sent
there,
the boy.
kid.
It was like, go
Go there. You
protect your
see, he
sister.
waited for the boy to go in there.
Maybe that's why they sent him to
So
protect his
maybe
sister.
this can bring the country together. So the right wing can be happy. Say what you want about Joe Biden. He's not gay.
Oh shit!
Say what you want about Joe Biden.
At least he's straight.
Definitely not gay.
At least he's
super
hetero.
duper straight. And you could make the left happy. Hey, he likes to bang kids. It's a win-win for the country.
You know where we're going, bro. You know where we're going. It's dragpocalypse. It's gaypocalypse, bro. It's gay Mad Max. This is where it's all going. I said it before. This is the mayor of San Francisco. All I can see is that tearing down the concept of normalcy is where they want to go. Regardless of what stands in its wake afterward, regardless of what we install after the cis terrorism of patriarchy has been destroyed, it doesn't matter what's left after that. It could be straight up Mad Max. Maybe we'll ride around all looking like the gangs from the Warriors, except gay. Maybe that's be the only acceptable sexual alignment. If you're a cis and straight, you're the enemy. You're a terrorist. We got to get rid of you. Maybe they just want a role reversal. Maybe they just want to make straight people hide out in straight bars, and doing debacle shit that's going to be made fun of and treated badly. Maybe that's what they want. I can't understand where they expect the world to go with children stuffing dollars in drag queens' pants and puberty blockers and the removing of the genitalia, and it's crazy. It's absolute. I just don't understand it. I could be wrong. Again, we opening up the floor for somebody who is aligned in these circles. Vaush, maybe Vaush will talk to us. Maybe he'll give us, grace us with his presence.
I'm pretty sure, and this is why I'm pretty sure Vaush is on the record as pro-pedophilia.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, you mean as in like straight up pro-pedophilia, or maybe, or does he think like consent ages are arbitrary, and like I've heard those arguments like, oh well, it's 16 in this state but it's 15 in that state, so does that mean you're a pedophile in one state not the other? Like I've heard, and it is a little arbitrary. It's weird. What's the difference between a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old? Dave Chappelle asked that question about R. Kelly pissing on people. Like when you're 15, you can't do nothing. You can't. But when you're 16, go ahead, bust it wide open. Who knows? Like it's a little goofy, especially if it's not like do the states individually get to decide what's considered murder, or what? Like there's all these other laws on the books that everybody kind of agrees on. But when you have age of consent, it's all over the place, and it's changed over time. It was super regular for a 13, 14-year-old girl to get married during the fucking Dust Bowl or some shit like that, or in the
30
Wild
years
West.
old, you can get yourself a good 12-year-old.
Yeah, get yourself a good 12-year-old. She can have a bunch of babies and make me some kids to help me work the farm type shit. And it was fine. Your parents would just sell you off and sign the paperwork, and next thing you know, it's like Color Purple. You got a fucking 35-year-old man humping and sweating on top of you on your 14th birthday. And that was completely normal. Nobody thought that guy was a pedo. He was just a man who found him a good young wife. 20 years, 50 years later, he's a weirdo, and now you can't get married till you're 18. So I get that conversation with how the laws are weird. It's fairly arbitrary. How are we deciding what is the right? I get that conversation.
Yeah, but we're talking about prepubescent children.
Now that's
that's
when you
the
go to the
difference.
wood chipper.
Right.
That's when you just go to the wood chipper. I'm sorry.
Right, and most cultures have a rite of passage. All right, you're bleeding out your pussy. You're shooting sperm out your dick. You're an adult. Here's this bronze sword. Go chop up the neighbor's head, and maybe you can get some spoils.
Right.
Like,
bring back his daughter. Matter of fact.
Right. So, yeah. There is the advent of natural processes that let you know, like, I don't care what the law says. This says you're an adult, right? But then we as a civilization say, okay, it can seem predatory, but like we recognize that men and women are always going to prey on each other with sex to one degree or another. But we just agreed, like, once you're 18, you're on your own.
Right.
If you're under 18, maybe the authorities will get involved because you got talked out of some pussy by your high school teacher, right? Like, it's a power dynamic. They shouldn't be taking advantage of the fact that you were infatuated or whatever. But yeah, at the end of the day, biologically, you're dealing with, as far as nature is concerned, two adults, right? But in our civilization, we would just say, that's kind of gross because of how our society is structured. Like, everybody should be an adult. We came up with 18. 18 is what we decided. This is a person who's gone through the initiation. They've graduated from high school, right? They're ready for the workforce. They're a fully functional member
Good to
of
murder
our
at
society.
18.
Yeah.
Good army age.
Yeah, you can go
Yeah.
kill or be killed at 18,
Yeah.
but are you allowed to? If you 18 is I think pretty much accepted socially adulthood, and maybe even 16, because they let you drive at 16 in certain places. You can go get a job. You can start stocking shelves and getting yelled at by your boss. So by the time you're 16, we understand you're on your way to adulthood and you can start dealing with the real world. But if you having any conversation about prepubescent people and
Right.
sexual knowledge, sexual activity, that's wood chipper talk.
Well, because
Yeah.
you made a fair point, and like I said, I would concede to some of his shit too about the arbitrary nature of some of these cutoffs or whatever. Like, yeah, nature has programming within it to let you know when you're ready to reproduce, and that becomes a part of your identity. But we as a civilization say, hey, you got some more to learn, you got some more to grow before you start wielding that power or exploring that aspect of yourself. We want you to take some time to get a little bit more information, right, and figure things out a little bit more, so that you lead a decent life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that's gonna fuck you up more in life than having a baby at 13. We're just like I mean, if there's a 35-year-old dude with a farm that marries you at 13, that's different. But that's not the 13-year-olds in our society that are having babies. But that's not what we're even talking about. We're talking about before puberty even kicks in, exposing these children to sexual situations, sexual information.
High level of manipulation you can put on these kids, especially like prepubescent.
And a lot of it is coming from in-house. Like, there's a lot of parents who seem to be, some of them who seem to be okay with the idea that these books need to teach them about butt plugs and shit like that. And then there's a lot of people who are like, yo, this shit is disgusting, get it away from our schools. And my argument, like I was saying earlier on Twitter, like if you can't teach your own kid how to masturbate and use a butt plug, are you even parenting? Like, what are you even doing?
I never remember having that conversation with my father.
I never remember my father sitting me down and putting the butt plug on the table and showing me how to use it. I just maybe I wasn't raised right. I don't know.
That seems like what it is because I mean, if you would leave that up to a teacher, if you would leave that up to your school, like he should be able to check this book out in the school because if it's so important, if you're mad, you're calling Ron DeSantis a Nazi, all this other shit, you're mad because these books are being taken off the shelf. Why aren't you teaching your own kid how to use a butt plug? Why are you waiting for the school to do it? Why haven't you stepped in to be a real parent? And okay, you know what? I'm gonna put this up on the screen real quick. You know what? Can I? It's a cartoon. It's not actual
might have to
nudity.
blur out the. Might have to blur it out.
The cartoon penises.
Yeah.
I don't know. But here's the thing. This is and
This is in the school for
right.
teen-
But this is what has been like. This is why you just gotta say. Of course, everybody's full of shit. We have to stop taking people seriously and indulging them, and just say fuck it to whatever ridiculous shit they say when they want to accuse you of being a bigot or a racist or a transphobe or homophobe or whatever. There's all of this footage that's out of parents going to some of these school meetings and they're being told to shut the fuck up because what they're saying is inappropriate when they're reading the book. Like a group of adults having a conversation about what policies should be enforced at the school, right? That's an adult conversation. And in a group of adults, they're reading these children books and being told that's not appropriate. That's not fit for public consumption.
In a room full of adults.
Right.
But we can put it.
You,
okay.
Right. But kids should be able to read it. And it's like, nah. This has absolutely nothing to do with education. And we all got sex education. We all, our parents had to sign the forms, and they did tell you some shit early. I remember like in 4th grade, they're like, "Yep, you're gonna get some hair. Things are changing. Your nuts are gonna start,
Yeah, they would make a big deal about it on TV. Then as a kid, you take the class and just basically like, this is what happens.
Yeah, they just tell you.
Like it was never like a porno experience. That's
right.
What
nobody was like, look, what you want to do is start rubbing the head of your dick before you go down the shaft. Get yourself excited. You know what I'm saying? You want to cup your balls a little bit and rub them before. Like, no, it was just like, look, you this is sperm. This is menstruation. This is how this shit works. Like, okay, that is scientific. I understand you breaking down for us the mechanics of how this works. Thank you. Yeah, but never was there anything instructive. That's where it's like, how the fuck are y'all justifying this? Okay, there we go.
We got some blurred. This is the book. The book is called Let's Talk About It. The Teen's Guide to Sex, Relationships, and Being a Human. Which sounds, decent enough. But then you get into the book. These are just different body types. But just to be clear to show you, this here is a masculine presenting person.
Some who have penises,
but they have breasts and a vagina. These other two people over here both have penises. One of them has breasts and a penis. And this is, I guess, teenagers are gonna, maybe they're gonna encounter this shit. So maybe you just need to let them know. This guy's over here got the boner. He's just showing you.
It's a sad generation.
Dude.
Can you imagine?
Look at this, bro.
Look at this. Holy
they're
shit,
teaching you. Yeah, they're teaching you how to do it right. I don't know if that's
Brazilian wax all over again.
I don't know if this is important. Like I think they'll figure it out on their own. I don't think you need to teach a kid how to properly beat off.
We all figured it out on a long.
I didn't know.
This is showing you butt plugs and lube in a book for teenagers. Am I wrong? Are teenagers much more advanced than I'm giving them credit for? Is it like, oh, they know about butt plugs? What are you talking? Why are you being such a prude? Is that what it is? Am I too old to realize what teenagers are into? And why does this book have to teach them this?
Oh my God,
it's weird. Okay, see, this one's normal. I've seen this in school. It shows. But what's this up here though? What this guy's got one leg with a fake foot, and somebody's taking it up the tailpipe. Why is that good for a teenager?
No, these pictures are very strange. I think this is like a
whoever drew this got issues.
Whoever drew this definitely had like issues. It's like that's the guy that raped me.
It's bugged out. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to be the guy who's like, children should never know this until they get married. Like, I don't want to be that person. But I don't think I'm going out of the way by saying this seems a little bit extreme to me. It
No,
seems
the
a
only thing
little
we need
extreme.
to teach the kids is protection. Like, you don't want to have a kid
Bro,
at
look,
13. This
it's
is what
telling
you
you
need.
how splash. You gotta
Oh
you
my
gotta learn how to
gosh.
squirt as a teenager. Yeah, do it this way, pinch it here, circular motions, go right. Really? Is that really?
See, there must be a low count of Nat Geo books in this generation.
That's what it is.
No,
We
We
don't
had
have
Nat
National
Geo.
this is
Geographic.
all Nat Geo. This
We
is
had Nat
That's
Geo.
who's behind this. They've upgraded.
dude. What was the formula? What was the formula
Yeah.
for anybody that had to watch those videos about this is how you're gonna get molested as a child. This is how you avoid it. It was always like, let's watch some movies together. It was always like, let's have an excuse for an adult and a kid, like, how could we kind of get into a sexual relationship? You're not really sexual, right? I can't just go right at you. But, watch this movie. How does it make you feel? Isn't this kind of cool? You never seen this before. We're just watching a movie. Look, man, I'm the cool adult. Other adults are keeping this from you. But me, look, we're just watching movies. Like, so all of it
Bro.
feels like even now too with like there's like video games coming out that's like that have like a sexual aspect to it. And it's always like, okay, like I understand that they have adult, video
Adult
games
themes,
have very
it
adult
happens.
themes. Right. There's I totally get it. But whenever it's something that's presented like this, like it's cartoony, it's something it's just childish. It just feels like a gateway. Like, what's a way that an adult and a kid can start talking about some sex shit? How do you bring that up? Like, let's say I'm a diddler and I'm trying to diddle a kid, right? The hardest thing to do is to make that opening move. It's hard to break the ice, right? It's tough. I feel like it streamlines it. It streamlines it. You don't have to worry as a pedophile in 2023 what your opening line's going to be, what kind of candy they like, how windowless your van should be. That doesn't matter anymore. That's not a part of the strategy. They've taken away a whole bunch of those obstacles because they've just put it to where now it's normal that there's going to be some cartoony looking, definitely geared towards kid shit, but completely within an adult sexual realm, like that. Because this is all I'm hearing when I see these people defend it, right? And even some of the policies that passed in a lot of these schools that got parents taking their kids out of school, is at the end of the day, all I'm hearing is we want to be able to talk to your kids about whatever sexual shit we want, and we want you to not be involved whatsoever. Because in no others, like, just think about any scenario. You have a cousin you haven't seen for a long time. You show up with your 10-year-old daughter, your 10-year-old son. It's like, hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, good to see you. We're catching up and blah, blah, blah. Cool, man. So look, I don't know, we'll maybe get on some PlayStation or something for a little while. Let's hang out, watch a movie. And, and as you're staying there, maybe you're staying there for a week, couple of days, like, hey, if you don't mind, bro, I was going to take Billy in the other room. I want to show him how butt plug works. We're just going to talk about butt plugs and shit and just, talk about jerking off. I don't know if you had the conversation with him, but I got a book.
Bro.
I got a book from my local library.
Bro, listen to this
really
shit, bro. Listen to this shit. This shit says, switch things up and avoid masturbating with a tight hand grip. And you can use it to make it harder to climax in the future. Try a sex toy for a bonus. Vibes and strokers are awesome. Whack it against your palm and give it a gentle bending pressure.
This is pedophile shit. Listen, this is why this is 100% pedophile.
This shit crazy, bro. This
I
ain't
remember
regular.
being a 12-year-old boy. Everything made my dick hard. I couldn't stop my dick from getting hard. I couldn't stop my dick from feeling good. When you are 12, 13, 14 years old, nobody needs to tell you how to jerk off. You can't stop doing it. You don't need any tricks. These are old man things. Old men need to do the ball tug trick of the fucking shaft pinch.
You gotta trick it. You gotta
Right.
trick it into thinking it's some new shit. Like I gotta
Right.
try
Come on,
something else.
motherfucker. Come on. When you're a kid, you don't need to be slap it against your hand. This is just an excuse for adults to talk sexual shit with kids. Like I said,
Yeah.
nothing. Okay, you take your kid to a psychiatrist. All right, no problem. I'm gonna have to ask you to get out of the room. Me and Shanae are gonna talk about masturbation. We're gonna get into some really vivid details, and you can't be a part of the conversation. You need to respect her privacy. So me and her are gonna go back here behind. Like everybody would get murdered. Like there's no parent alive. I don't give a fuck if it's your cousin. I don't give a fuck if it's a psychiatrist or the cashier. Like in no other scenario would it be appropriate to be like, I'm gonna talk to your underage child about some sexually explicit shit. I'm gonna even show them pictures and talk about it in graphic detail, and your opinion about whether I should do that is irrelevant. Like,
Yeah.
but there's this magic thing. Like, I don't know how child molesters just aren't getting away with telling the cops, "Wait a minute, officer, I'm a teacher."
Right.
Like, how do you just not go up to kids at a bus stop and show your dick? Like, just flash it open, right? You just flash open the duster. You put your dick out. You start showing them. You know what I mean? Like, cause I remember, there was people in the neighborhood. They get arrested. Why did they get arrested? Well, they were showing kids pornography. Like, yeah, you used to go to jail for that. Right, so I don't know how you don't go up to a bus stop full of kids, show your dick, and when the police come and you're passing out, Hustler magazines, just be like, no, it's okay, officer. I'm a teacher. We're supposed to be having these conversations about slapping your dick up against your hand.
Dude, I just found a Vaush tweet from 2018. The way I see it, the age of consent exists out of respect for numerous power imbalances older people have over younger people. As those imbalances, or at least some of them, are redressed through the advent of socialism, the age of consent should therefore be lowered. So that's what comes with his socialism. With his socialism, we're gonna, we'll own the means of production, we'll evenly distribute wealth, and we'll also lower the age of consent so older people.
All your pussy belong to us now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take all your shit, including your prepubescent daughters, and sons probably too.
And sons.
Gosh, Vaush, what are you doing, bro? I'm not a pedophile. I'm a traditionalist. I just want a woman who's naive. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's bugging. I don't know. I'm going to have to do some more research on this guy. Okay, another guy. And this looks like it's in his Discord. He says, I banged an adult as a minor. And Vaush replies, unironically hot. So I'm sure some of this is facetious and a little, but I just Googled Vaush pedo. And a whole bunch of shit came up, so it seems like
because as much as you want to defend these people for their rights, there's always that aspect of it that's in the corner that just it doesn't go away and you can't defend.
Yeah, it seems a little weird. I mean, you don't want to say it's naturally like a degenerate or but it seems like there's an aspect of it that's been connected so much. I don't know if it's connected to it because people were forced to hide for so long. Maybe when you force people to hide and not be themselves, and when they do finally come out, they're showing their taint with assless chaps on. Maybe that's what you get from suppressing people's sexuality and self-expression. When they do it's like if you put a kid on punishment for a month, when he goes outside, he's not just going to play in the front yard. He's going to the other side of town on the bus. He's about to go get into some shit. Like, you kept him in the house for so long, son is going to go on a fucking pilgrimage when he finally gets outside. So maybe that's what this is. I don't want to say that they're just depraved by their nature, but there's a big part of debauchery and depravity that's connected to the culture. And it's not just them. I could go on about fucking American black culture for hours. Like, there is a huge part of that shit that has to do, criminality is connected to it. There's people within the culture who think you're not fully black if you're not promoting criminality and shit like that. So there's a huge conversation about how those things are all tied together. There's something about depravity, debauchery that comes with this LGBT identity. It just seems like there is. Some of them may be super conservative and wear suits and just go to work and come home and, you know, kiss their same-sex lover on the mouth and watch I Love Lucy, possibly. But a lot of these motherfuckers is out here bugging out. For real, for real. And I don't mean bugging out as in like they're just doing things I don't agree with. I don't give a shit what you do. I mean, if you've been to the average hetero strip club, you're going to see some wild shit. But because there's such a barrier there, the strip club is not a free-for-all. You don't just get to do whatever you want in there. You touch the right woman the wrong way, you getting whooped on by the bouncers and thrown out the front door.
You get a hand slap, but if you find a good one though.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, if she consents to it, you can do whatever you want. But it's like it's not just a free-for-all. You can't go in there and try to insert nothing in nobody.
Definitely.
You're gonna get hurt.
Gotta feel it out.
But there's some places that are aligned a little bit differently. I'm just going to leave it there. Shit could go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that just comes with the territory. No, it's very unlikely you're going to get kicked out of some of these bars for doing some of the shit you would get kicked out of strip club for. I don't know, man. I'd love to get Vaush to talk to us. I'd love to get him to answer some of these questions because I'm curious. I haven't made a full decision on it. The jury's still out. I would just like to know what some of these people have to say. I'm not going to take off the table that there's a possibility of a lot of intellectual dishonesty. People know how to protect their culture. I think Islam calls it taqiyya. They're allowed to lie to people who are outside of their religion in order to protect the religion. So if you say, hey, did the Prophet Muhammad marry and have sex with a 6-year-old girl? No, this is a misinterpretation, my friend. Knowing what they know to be absolutely true, they'll lie right to your face to protect the religion. They can do that. They won't be punished by God for lying if they're lying to protect the religion, lying to an outsider to protect the religion. And that goes for being in court. That goes for all of this shit. So honor killings, a whole bunch of wild shit. So I don't take intellectual dishonesty off the table, but I think I'm pretty good at sniffing it out when it does come along. So I'd like to talk to some people about this. I'd like to figure it out. What is this with the lowering of the age of consent? What is this? Why are 10-year-olds twerking at Big Frida concerts? Why is that okay? I don't know, but I'd love to talk about it. That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it there. But this shit feels a little bit wild to me. I'm not a complete traditionalist. There's a lot of stuff about how my life is organized that a lot of, Tucker Carlson types may not dig. They may not like it. They may be like, oh, that's some weird shit, bro. You know, some people might think being in an interracial marriage is some weird shit. I get it. I don't blame them for that. You feel how you feel. But none of them are trying to stop me from doing it. None of them, they don't care. There's enough of a live and let live.
Definitely no Jamaican song for you.
No, there's no Jamaican song about killing you because you married somebody outside of your race. But there's
some country songs about it.
There could be. You're right. That's true. There could be some old country songs about it. But y'all go listen to a song by Shabba Ranks called Mama Man. And just listen to the smoothness and lyrical prowess and the funkiness with he delivers a charge to murder homosexuals. It's absolutely astounding that you could take a subject, something so morbid and absurd, and just turn it into a great song. I don't know many songs, many cultures, I don't know where else you could find something like that.
Had to be a slave for 400 years. That's the criteria.
Shit. This photosynthesis of suffering strikes again.
It built the White House.
Damn. Again.
Because you notice, because I like this thing that's going around now. It's like, black people. Oh, go ahead.
Now, Mama Man,
we ain't gonna play too much of it. But, he's just...
Don't give me no time, man, if it looks like in my body. Man, it's not right. It is wrong. A man a push his penis in a shit talk.
It's just, y'all go listen to that. It's called Mama Man by it's MAMAMAN, Mama Man, and just go listen to it. It's Shabba Ranks. You can't. It's difficult to not bob your head to it. It's really difficult, even when you know what it's about. And I'm gonna tell you up front, the entire song is about killing homosexuals. I mean, yeah, photosynthesis of suffering. It's the only way you get it. It's the only way you get it. People have to go through amazing traumas to be able to create amazing art, even if it is morbid and absurd. But he did get in a lot of trouble for this shit.
Look, black people built this country. and I don't know if you're familiar with Africa in the 16, 17, and 1800s, there was no porticos. There was no Corinthian columns.
Yeah.
None. But you get on a slave ship, you get whipped, you get brought over to America, architectural genius.
Yeah.
Built everything.
Oh well.
Photosynthesis of suffering.
It's amazing.
could
It's
al-
super reliable.
You could almost argue that if it wasn't for Europeans coming up with the transatlantic slave trade, we wouldn't have a lot of the beautiful architecture that we have here. It was only through the photosynthesis of suffering.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, listen, I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot we can do about it. We've identified it. We see what it is, and it's reliable. It's been successful so far, but it is what it is. At least it's being transmuted into something beautiful that we can all dance to. But we still
how
got
the
some work to
Yakubian
do.
race conquered the world. They had those so many years of suffering.
Right? Did they actually conquer the world, or did they just create a whole bunch of dope music and good basketball players?
Well, the Yakubians.
Oh, right, yeah.
Remember the story. Remember the story.
Right, the
They
actual
suffered
Yak,
for a
right,
while.
yeah, not their creation, the Yakubians themselves.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it, man. This shit's wild. Like I said, we opening up the floor for anybody who might be listening. If you think we got some things wrong, don't just sit back and talk shit about us. Don't flag the video. Just come on the show, correct us, break down your point. I'd love to hear about this. I'd love to hear about it and put this whole thing to bed in my own psyche. I'd love to know what's really going on. If I'm not seeing all the angles, if I'm not counting in all the variables, put us
We
on.
need different perspectives, man.
Tag Vaush. Go to his page. Go to his Twitter. He's at Vaush. Go to his Twitter. Tell him to come talk to the Cult of Dangerous Gentlemen. Tell him to hop on our show. It's audio only, so he doesn't even have to be seen. Not that he cares, but, just hop on the show. Put us, set us straight. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what you meant about lowering the age of consent with socialism. I'd love to hear it.
Don't set us straight. That's gendered language.
Oh, you're right. No, yeah, damn. See? I didn't mean that. Set us right, not straight. Just give us the scoop. Let us know what's really going on. Help us align our psychology properly so we can see what's really happening these days. I'd love to know. I'm super curious. I'd love to know. I want to know why 10-year-olds are twerking at Big Frida concerts.
I want to know why you can only have great architecture after slavery.
Right.
These are all mysteries that need to be mined.
Right. I love it. Let's get to it. So, yeah, send the blast out to Vaush. Everybody who's listening, we appreciate you tapping in and making some time for us as usual. We absolutely love y'all for being active in here in the comments and all of that. Super appreciate it.
Big love, big shout out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we got some more stuff coming for you. Stay tuned. We got some more videos, some things you might not have heard yet because we were over on Rumble trying out that platform. But we'll be going back and forth until something cracks the code. We might be cracking the code with this Vaush thing right now. I'm gonna keep at it until we
more
get
gay
come on the show.
content.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
gay
We need to focus on the homosexual gays because they seem to be giving us a lot of attention right now. So you go where the attention is, and the gays have it. The gays have it, so we're gonna be on it until.
And there may or may not be some lotion foot videos available on OnlyFans.
Listen, they out there. Maybe that's how we bait them in. That's how we bait the gays in to come talk to us. We have to contribute to the gods of homosexuality before they'll shed their algorithmic light
Not
on
only
us.
fans of lotion feet, guys. Let us in.
Yeah,
Dude, and we could even get some interracial foot play. Like, I'll lotion my foot up, you lotion up your foot. We kind of just rub them
do
together.
side by side.
No. I'm down to have the feet touch.
Now they got to pay extra.
I
They
don't
got
know
to pay
about
extra
that,
for
man.
that.
If you can handle it, I can handle it.
Street.
We can squish our feet together until the lotion kind of oozes through our toes, and in between it'll be
Look,
perfect.
Everybody
We're gonna
has a
call
number.
that.
Everybody has a number. We'll take up a collection. Once it gets to $10,000, we'll get some interracial lotion foot play on the OnlyFans.
I don't know about that.
10 grand. 10 grand will make, and that's only for one video. That's only for one video. If you want multiple videos, it's going to cost. So,
You'll take my place, dog. You can have it.
hey, listen, for 10 grand, I'm down.
Listen, $500. I'll put foot on foot. Ain't gonna bother me.
Yeah, I'll do a split screen for
No
500.
butt stuff. No butt stuff, but foot stuff. Foot stuff. I'll do all day.
Yeah, I'll definitely step on some pies for $500. Like, you know, just hit the Cash App. The link is in the description. Hit the Cash App. Hit the PayPal. We need to give some donations to keep this show flowing to you and to up our production rate. So show us some love. We appreciate y'all. And everybody enjoy the rest of the evening. And I'm sure that we'll be linking up and unraveling the knots of society even more. The greatest think tank ever invented. No debate. The Cult of Dangerous Gentlemen. I appreciate you fellas, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Peace.
Y'all take it easy, man. Bless.
Peace.
To be the quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.